The Federalist Papers. You've probably heard the name, but don't know the details. Well, hopefully this video can help you out. So first of all, just what are the Federalist Papers? The Federalist Papers were a series of 85 essays written by John Jay, Alexander Hamilton, and James Madison under the pseudonym Publius. The purpose of these papers was to promote the ratification of the new United States Constitution. They talked about various issues and questions people may have had concerning this new government. The most famous Federalist paper is Federalist 10, which you may have heard of. Federalist 10 talked about factions. Factions are a group of people who come together to try to promote their own special interests. Oftentimes, in order to do so, they act against the public good. The framers knew the dangers that factions pose to a nation. However, dealing with factions is not so easy. According to Federalist 10, there are two ways to control factions. One is to remove its causes. However, the root cause of factions is just people getting together with similar people and striving for self-improvement. In order to get rid of this, you would either have to have a government that controls people's thoughts and actions and removing all freedoms, or make it so everybody is the same with the same needs, wants, and interests. Obviously, both are impractical, if not impossible. The other way is to just minimize their effects. One form of government where factions are particularly powerful is a direct democracy. In a direct democracy, every citizen votes on policy initiatives themselves, and so, if a faction is formed that composes the majority, they will always win the majority of votes. This results in them passing whatever laws they want, while the minority can never get their voices heard. Therefore, in a direct democracy, the rights of the minority cannot be guaranteed. The framers believed that a representative democracy was a better way to protect minority rights. In a representative democracy, the government consists of a small group of elective and luckily, the US Constitution happens to set up a representative democracy through the House of Representatives. Hooray! The other paper you might need to know about is Federalist 51. The paper's main goal was to address the people's fear of tyranny from an all-powerful national government. One famous quote from this paper was, "If men were angels, no government would be necessary." This shows how the founders knew that people are imperfect and that those in power may have a tendency to abuse it. The solution outlined by Federalist 51 and the Constitution is separation of powers. Separation of powers splits up the government into various branches and divides power between these branches so that one branch isn't too powerful. In the case of our government, we have the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. In addition, to compensate for the legislative branch being more powerful than the others, it was created as a bicameral legislature consisting of two parts, the House of